This is for all the cl550s and the s550 Mercedes with a no crank, no start condition. Symptoms are: turn the key, starter doesn't turn over the motor, you don't hear nothing but a bunch of clicks. Okay. Fan turns on going like crazy. Maybe to your car it does that, but it did it to this one. I checked all the fuses, checked all the relays, checked for continuity on the wire going into the signal for the starter. There was no power there at all, and there was no power here at this harness, which is the one that goes to the starter. If you look at the side by the injectors, it's going to be the driver's side. The driver's side, there's going to be a purple wire. This little white wire, it's white and purple. You see it? Look at it. It's actually white and purple. You're supposed to get a 12 volt signal from that wire if you put a test light and ground the test light somewhere. And I wasn't getting no light, or no signal from the test light, meaning that there was no power being inserted there in that harness. So I kind of went crazy, because the fan was kicking on, everything was working, all the electricals was fine. But I wasn't getting no power at that harness, which is the one that controls the starter. And the fan was going crazy. So after I figured that out, problem was that this battery was at 0 volts, completely dead. This battery right here, it's the one that goes on the hood, under the hood. It was at 0 volts. I can put a test light to it right now. Where's the test light? Anybody? Right here. Here's a test light. Okay. I'm gonna try that little test light. And you ready? Nothing. Not a single piece or a little sign of light coming from that little test light. Okay. Therefore, if this battery is no good, the starter won't start, because if you look over here at the junction box, okay, you got this wire. Okay, this wire has positive constantly. Okay, then when you hit the starter and you put this battery here, this is supposed to be a positive too as well. You know what I'm saying? So the problem was that I was only getting positive on this side when I hit the key, and nothing on this side. So then when I jump this battery that goes here, right? I jump this battery and I check if I had power here on the second post. I had power. And then I had power here as well already from before on this one. So there was power here, no power here. I jumped the battery, this one, and then I got power here. So this was the signal to the starter. Okay? Meaning that the car was not starting because the battery here was at 0 volts. I only had the battery in the trunk at 13.2 volts or 12.7 volts, I believe it was. But this one was at 0. But this one is the one that controls the starter. Not realizing that, I went ballistic, checking those fuses. It wasn't that. It wasn't that. Okay. Then I took this whole module apart. Check for the fuse that blows when you crash. That was good. So I was kind of scratching my head. And as I said, when I did this, when I did that to the purple and white wire, and you ground it here, when I turn that key, that light should turn on for 9 to 10 seconds, which is the 10 seconds that the key automatically turns the engine over if it doesn't start, and then it shuts it off by itself. And then you get another 10 seconds after you cycle the key off and on again. So there was no signal there. Now there's signal. Now when I hit the key, the engine turns over. I haven't obviously turned it on yet because I got to put a radiator, and I just want to finish the build before I actually drop to the floor. I changed the control arms, all the control arms in the back. Might have to change out one CV joint, is kind of stuck. And put it on the floor and just go from there. Gotta change the windshield, you know. It's a little project. But for anybody having this issue with any S550s or cl550s or any type of Mercedes, which they're known for this, always check your batteries first. These cars are not like Toyota Corollas or Nissan Altimas where you can have a 6-volt battery and the engine will try to start. No, this needs 12.7 volts or higher. If not, it's not going to turn over at all. Computer will not let it. So there you have it. Any comments, just leave the link in the bottom, or ask any questions. Let me know. For any do-it-yourselfers, this is how I got it done. 3 days of work, you know, trying to figure out what it was. Came to the conclusion that it was, well, bam, the battery. Goddamn bastard. Well, I'll give a recap when I get this little sucker. Okay. Like I said, no blown fuses. You check out your fuses, they're all good and stuff like that. Check for power. White wire and purple wire. Same color. Purple and white. Purple and white. Look at her right there. Look at her. Look at her right there. Purple and white. Okay. And now when you go like that and somebody else hits the key for you, you should get a 10 light illumination, 10 second illumination going on right there, and then it should shut off by itself. Okay. And here, click, or unless you got if you got light right there, your starter is going to turn over. If it doesn't turn over and you got a light right there, that's a signal to the starter. If there's light there and your starter doesn't turn over, your next step is to check the starter directly from the bottom. Maybe take it off, but so far so good.